Story. I think this is a topic almost everybody out there can relate to. Your heart pounds, your body shakes, you feel like you can't get the words out. Public speaking, it is one of the most common phobias and something so many people dread. So glad to have Topher Morrison, author of the book on public speaking and also a professor at the University of Tampa, with us today. This is a topic, I said it, everyone knows all about it.
It escapes nobody.
I mean, why is public speaking so tough?
I think the main reason is because we think that we have to be perfect at it. We know people are going to be judging us, so we have this false expectation that says we have to deliver with perfection.
Sure. Okay, let's start from the beginning. When you know that you've got this assignment, you've got to give a speech, where do you start in terms of preparing for that speech?
Start at the end. I always ask myself, I start at the end. I say, what do I want my audience to feel by the end of my presentation?
Big finish.
Yeah. And then whatever I want them to feel, then I backtrack and build the presentation to hopefully create those states and those emotions.
Oh my goodness, what a tip there. I was mentioning to you earlier during the commercial, I remember being in college and we had to do our public speaking 101 course. You had to use the cue cards. Is that still encouraged?
Sure, you know, different things for different people, whatever works for them. I don't use note cards, but I script it out word for word. For something about writing things out word for word puts the hand to the brain, and then I remember it better. Yeah.
And that's how you go about it. You've got your audience, they're looking at you, you're trying not to freeze up. How do you not bore your listeners?
Tell stories. The more stories you tell, the better. Facts are boring. I don't know about you, but I can remember the scenes to my favorite movies a lot easier than I can anything I ever learned in school.
And you're drawing on personal experience.
Public speaking is an interesting thing. We have to talk about ourselves, all the while giving the audience the feeling that we're talking about them. So you talk about stories, but you kind of try to tie it back into the audience as much as possible.
I kind of feel you on that. Crutch words, those are sometimes big no-nos, like actually the pitfall. That's a good one right there. I mean, how do you get rid of those?
You know what? I don't think you ever do. I don't think you can get rid of your nervous tics. I think you can contain them and you can harness them a little bit. But they're always going to be there to some degree. And I always tell people that I work with, I say, don't worry about those things. It's natural. In fact, people that don't have those actually sound kind of artificial and fake.
I love this on our screen right now for our viewers at home. We've got some things to remember while you're speaking. Be aware of your energy level. Of course, that's important. You don't want to bore your audience with your tone. Be spontaneous. Avoid asking obvious questions. Avoid acronyms. That's a good one.
How many acronyms do we need for success?
Hello. Yeah. And not everyone's going to remember those when you walk away, let's be honest. And then just be you. Sometimes that's just the best thing to do.
Absolutely. You know what? I mean, the reality is you've got to be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else.
Okay, we love that. What do you tell your students?
I tell them, don't try to copy people, try to be yourself, and you better practice and rehearse as much as possible.
Rehearse. Practice does make perfect. Hopefully, Topher, thank you so much. Great tips. We appreciate it. John, Glenn, I hope you guys were listening because we're grading you over here.